What's up everybody, Maran here for another weekly update and the first one of 2024. I hope you all had a great holiday and are having a great new year here so far. So getting into all the news here this week, before I get into all of the stuff including the big headline story here, I first want to mention I'll be doing my usual weekly live stream at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday night here, and I'll be going for about 2 hours. They're always a great time hanging out and just talking cars with all of you, so join if you can. But getting into the news here this week, the first news story is a bit of a bummer, but I had to cover it first because it is, in my opinion at least, the biggest news of the week. And that is that the Dodge Challenger and the Dodge Charger production officially ended here on December 22nd. So a little bit of old news, I guess, but didn't want to end 2023 on a total bummer. And but yes, it is unfortunate. The final Challenger that was built was an SRT Demon 170 in pitch black, and then the Charger that was built, the final one on that same day, was a much more ordinary Scat Pack wide body in Destroyer Gray. And so this one deserves a toast for sure. I mean, I think we need like a moment of silence for the death of the Challenger and the Charger as we know them. We know Charger is coming back, by the end of this year here. We will see, how that plays out. I'm sure it was still going to be an impressive car in its own way, but it's most likely not going to have a V8 engine and is the end of the awesome Mopar V8 as we know it. Which, I've been covering a lot of, sad news about cars going away in the past few years and being somber about it and, starting the whiskey tradition here as a result. But this one, it's a big deal for those to be gone. And, I just have to give my appreciation for the SRT team. They were really awesome with inviting me on all the events the past decade here, basically. I've had so much fun reviewing so many of these cars. They're such special cars. I think that, Dodge really moved the game forward as far as the horsepower wars and just what you can do with a muscle car and the attitude that they can, give off and stuff. I think it really redefined muscle cars in a lot of ways with these new Hellcats and just everything that they've done here. Even the Scat Packs and all that, just awesome cars. So much fun, so well done. They went out on a high note here, and that's good for sure, but it's just a shame they had to go out at all. And so cheers to the Charger and the Challenger. Again, another toast I never wanted to make, but here we are. What an awesome run it has been. Cheers to the Dodge Charger and the Dodge Challenger. Now, for some good news here this week. Got to pick it up here. We got a whole rest of the weekly update, and there's lots of exciting and positive news as well. So for some good news and some great news for enthusiasts too here, some really good encouraging stats. We're getting all the new 2023 sales statistics and all the observations of how everything has unfolded in the past year here. And there's been lots of good news for lots of different brands, but there's two exciting stats that I wanted to highlight here to perk us up here after the death of the Charger and the Challenger. So first, Cadillac has confirmed to Motor One that almost half of all Blackwings CT4 and CT5Vs have been manual transmissions as far as the sales for 2023. They didn't give an exact percentage, but just anything close to half. A 50% take rate is almost unheard of with manual transmissions. The Mustang isn't 50%. Most other stuff isn't. And the 10-speed is also a good transmission in those cars. I spent a week with a CT5 vacuuming with the 10-speed about a year ago. It's really fun with a 10-speed too. It would be a great car to own as well. But I'm very, very happy to hear that so many people are going for the manuals. They're enjoying the Save the Manuals crowd. And I also have to commend Cadillac too, that the Blackwing is still existing, and it's also going to be getting a refresh here this year. And I believe it might be one of the, if not the only, it's one of the only supercharged V8 cars, at least as far as non-exotic stuff goes, in production anymore. There's no Shelby yet for this new S650 generation. Hellcats and all that are gone now. No Camaro ZL1 anymore. Supercharged V8s, it's basically relegated to the Raptor R at this point, and the Escalade V, I guess. But, just awesome. This is one of the final ones standing, and it's going out with a manual, and it's doing great, and it's not going out either. I don't know. I'm sure it's not going to last forever, but for now, it's still, they're churning them out. They're going to have a refresh and hopefully, a few more good years here for the 5 and this 4 Blackwings there. But anyway, so kudos to those manual Blackwing buyers. Round of applause here for those that bought those. The other good enthusiast news here is that Mazda reported a 45.4% increase in Miata sales in 2023 compared to 2022. And I know you might think, okay, well, 2022 was still production constrained, so not a big accomplishment. But that's even a 15.7% increase in sales compared to 2019 when the ND2 was brand new and fresh and, a hot seller. And it's even exceeded 2019, which again was pre-pandemic, obviously, and, when times were good. So, it's kind of impressive that many people are, picking up Miata here. And that's really good. I mean, it's still less than like the 11,000 GR 86s that were sold. And I believe BRZ might have even been a little bit more than that. But, the GR86, for example, though, declined 8% in 2023. So, that's typically the way it goes. You get the first new year, and then it slowly drops off every year after that. But Miata's on an incline. And this year, there's going to be the mild refresh for 2024. Gets the new screen on the inside. A few other minor little tweaks. I'm excited to hopefully try that out here at some point this year. But, they have more stuff coming here for it, with that little refresh and stuff. And it's just great that this car is an 8-year-old car. To have a double-digit increase in sales over even a good year like 2019 is really impressive. And I'm not sure why all of a sudden everyone's loving Miatas more than they used to, but I'm happy to see it because the Miata is a very underrated car still, in my opinion. I still think it is one of the best sports cars of, fun per dollar you can get on the new market. They're still, I believe, under 30 grand new, and it just phenomenal car. I would happily own a Miata if I could justify it, and I still might find a way to justify it someday because I do love the ND2s that much. But anyway, so interesting to hear that, and great news as well. Also, very briefly in other Mazda news here, before I get into another enthusiast story here, but Mazda also somehow let it slip. Apparently, Reddit user Mk8.5 spotted on the Canadian Mazda website that the CX-70 reveal will be happening on January 30th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And I can now reveal that I will be at the reveal event. I'm going to be filming the vehicle in advance, and we'll have a reveal video whenever that embargo drops there on the 30th. So stay tuned for my coverage on the CX-70 here in just a few weeks. Getting back to the good enthusiast news here, though, especially good news for those who can't or won't drive a manual transmission, is that it sounds like an automatic GR Yaris is coming soon, and therefore I can assume that we'll be getting an automatic GR Corolla soon as well, since the two cars, share powertrains. It seems pretty easy to swap the transmission over into the GR Corolla as well. And so that's great news. Now, the existence of this new 8-speed automatic isn't anything, we haven't heard before. We already, know the name is already called the Direct Automatic Transmission, or DAT for short. And it's been known for a while with Toyota's former CEO, now chairman, Akio Toyoda, saying it would be a game changer. And I covered this, back last year. But according to Japan's Mag X magazine here recently, they're reporting that the transmission will be officially revealed at the Tokyo Auto Salon here, which is actually happening next Friday. And that we'll see it, there with the GR Yaris. So I don't know how fast they'd swap it over into the GR Corolla, but I would assume, Corolla doesn't have a long life to live, before I'm assuming it gets a next generation or a heavy redo like we're seeing with the Camry. So I'm not sure, if maybe they'll wait and do this for like a next generation thing, but I'm hoping that, we can see this as soon as the 2025 model year here, this fall or something, of having an automatic GR Corolla, which should be awesome. The manual's great, and obviously that would be my pick, but for those who, live in tough traffic situations or can't drive a manual for whatever reason, this is going to be great news to, again, allow more people to enjoy the GR Corollas. And so we'll see, if this generation Corolla lasts that long. Maybe we'll even get a new generation Corolla before then, and who knows about the GR thing. We'll see. But anyway, great to see that an automatics is coming, and I feel like they wouldn't be doing all this development if it was only going to be for the Yaris, but we'll have to wait and see. Volkswagen also officially teased the front end of the Mk8.5 Golf at the end of December here, saying that the refresh will arrive sometime in 2024. And the teaser image here seems to show the wagon version that Europe gets because we see some roof rails there. But otherwise, those new LEDs in the headlights and the Volkswagen badge should transfer over to our GTI and Golf R. And Spy Shots have also revealed, and previously it's going to be getting an even bigger bigger touchscreen, probably the same one we're getting in the new, or that everyone in Europe gets in the new Passat, and we'll be getting in the Tiguan and some other models here. Probably won't get too many other changes outside of that, and I'm also hoping the manual sticks around. I guess there's other outlets that are reporting that that could be a possibility. The manual does stick around now thanks to the loosening up of the Euro 7 emissions regulations, which were the reason why they were dropping the manual. So we will see. They already announced the 380 edition, which was going to be the final manual transmission GTIs here for the States, but I'm hoping that just gets canceled and that they instead just say, you know what, manual is still going to continue on. We'll wait and see on that, but anyway, so cool to get that little teaser though. And Volkswagen's already talking about what's next after the Mk8.5, and we don't have too long to wait actually. So Volkswagen's head of design posted a sketch on Instagram last month of the ID.GTI concept, which we already saw, last year. And they have it's drawn there next to the original Golf GTI, and revealed in the caption that in 2026 we will introduce an electric version of this iconic model. So we had previously heard early 2027 from Volkswagen's brand's CEO, and that was supposedly when it was going to be coming to market, but it sounds like we'll be getting the reveal even earlier in 2026 at some point. And it also sounds like that'll be separate from the regular Mark 9 Golf, with that supposedly being scheduled to arrive in 2028. So this thing, unless it's like a concept version, but I'm assuming they're talking about a production model here, being revealed in 2026. And I think that's going to be based on the ID2, which would be an interesting shift if they shift the US market, at least GTI, off of the Golf and then just bring it back to its original size, basically, which I think would be a great idea. Honestly, make the GTIs smaller. I mean, they're very practical and all that, but if you can keep most of that practicality with the EV packaging and still have, and have a smaller vehicle still, I think that'd be great. So we will see, how that plays out, but very interesting to get that little teaser. We'll have to stay tuned for more here in the coming years. Another vehicle that's coming mid to late this decade is Lucid's Model 3 and Model Y competitors. So in an interview with Autocar here recently, Lucid's CEO revealed that the goal for the vehicles is for them to start around $48,000 to $50,000, but added, "Don't hold me to that." He did stress, though, that this is exactly why I go to work. I am not here to build an expensive car that only rich people can afford. And added, "We're going to compete in that market, high-volume family car." He also explained that their way of keeping this new car affordable is by using less battery is going to be the key for them. And they were able to do that thanks to having, in their opinion, the most advanced technology, and that their goals are even lower than a $50,000 car. Lastly, saying, "If we could get 6 miles per kilowatt hour and you only need 150 miles range, that's a 25 kilowatt hour pack. That's a $4,000 pack, particularly with a bit of industrializing, scale, and battery manufacture. That's what we need to make a $25,000 car, and that's what the environment and the world needs urgently to get masses into electric cars. You need the $25,000 car." And so while I commend his goal there, 150 miles of range even these days is unimpressive. I could see if he's talking to Autocar here, who, they're based in the UK. And so clearly for a UK buyer, you have a lot less landmass to cover. 150 miles of range, is actually usable and, a worthy vehicle to buy in the UK. Obviously, there would be, more expensive models with bigger battery packs, and that would be, the solution for the States there. So maybe it wouldn't get quite that cheap. But, it's going to be tricky to see, it's going to also come down to by the mid to late 2020s here, if we do have really fast charging and they can get these things, and if it's 150 miles of range but it recharges in, especially a 25 kilowatt pack, if they have that thing with a fast recharge rate, you top that thing off in 5 minutes. So if it is truly that quick, then I could see, again, 150 miles of range working for a lot of people. If we have lots of charging infrastructure at that point, the charge rates are really good, on and on, then I think it could be workable for someone who's on a tight budget. But hopefully, they will also find ways to, be able to put bigger packs in these things as well. But anyway, very interesting to hear that little interview there, and we'll see how that plays out. Lucid's got a lot of hurdles to get through before they ever get to that point. They got to get the Gravity out the door, by the end of next year, and then again these Model 3 and Model Y competitors, and then you're talking about the 25 grand car, even after that. So we will see if they, get that far. I hope they do. I wish them all the best. But, you know, we will see how that plays out. Speaking of the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y, though, there's a new report from Bloomberg here that claims that the Model Y will get a refresh this year, which certainly makes sense since the Model 3 is getting one. When they say it's going to have a much more obvious exterior and interior changes than the most recent update in October. So this likely means we'll be getting similar or identical stuff to what's in the Model 3, since that's how it's gone here with the current Model Y, and I don't expect Tesla to change that now with, you know, kind of phoning it in with the part sharing there a little bit. So, you know, I mean, that's how they stay profitable, so it is what it is, but, you know, I would just expect them to slap on those new you know, headlights and taillights and, you know, the same interior changes, and basically just, again, copy and paste all the Model 3 changes onto the Model Y. But, you know, we'll see. And you know, I mean, we're still waiting for the refresh Model 3 here in the States. They haven't even revealed it yet, haven't announced it. Meanwhile, the rest of the world's already like reviewing it and driving it and everything else, and and it's still like they're acting like it doesn't exist here in the States. It's bizarre. Anyway, for the last news story here, Automotive News is reporting that an electric version of the Volvo S90 sedan will be arriving by late 2024, likely called the ES90, unless Lexus stops them. I think Lexus has an issue with them using the ES name. Rightly so, I would say. I don't know why they don't just call it the EC90. I'm guessing, you know, the S is going with the S90s, but, you know, they could call it the EC, you know, for car, since EX is what they're using for the SUVs or something. I don't know. But anyway, Swedish website Teknikens World was able to see a picture of the internal Volvo website that showed a bunch of workers at the Geely assembly plant in Shanghai that was celebrating production of the very first verification prototype for this car, with the car's code name of V551 revealed, but unfortunately no look at the car itself. So, you know, we will see, you know, I'm guessing if they're that far along, this should be coming pretty soon. And according to Autoblog, there were also leaked documents last year that suggested that this new S90 would be sized in between the short and the long wheelbase current S90 versions, and be running the same SPA2 platform that the EX90 already uses, and is likely going to use all the same mechanicals as far as motors, power outputs, and all that as the EX90, just with obviously probably higher range, thanks to a better aerodynamic profile, I'm guessing, than the EX90. And so, yeah, so supposedly the car will be starting production in March, so coming really quickly here, which is impressive since I don't think we've seen any kind of spy shots of anything new from Volvo, to be totally honest. So that's, you know, pretty surprising, and that could be also for just the Chinese market, since, again, a lot of the stuff's being developed over there now for Volvo and stuff, so we'll see. And they also did mention that the current S90 will be continued to be offered for a bit, even alongside this new electric version as well. But, you know, interesting. I'll be looking forward to seeing that. I'm sure it'll be, again, a lot of the same stuff we've already seen with the other new Volvo EVs, but, you know, maybe there'll be some new stuff there as well. But lastly, I want to thank all of you that are members of the Maran Motoring Clubs. We did have a few new members that were able to join here and rejoin. There are lots of people who were able to rejoin thanks to the very many membership gifts that were given during the final live stream here of 2023. There's so many generous people that were handing out memberships here, and so I want to give a huge thank you to Evolving, MDKN, Fook M, and Kyle. Thank you all so much for gifting all those memberships here. MDKN gifted 10 of them. I really appreciate the generosity, and I'm sure all of those new members really appreciate it as well. And I also want to give a shout out here to the people who were able to join for the first time and become new members here. So I want to give a big welcome to Smile Per Mile, Darren J, Vishal, Sandapugo, and CB. So hope you're all enjoying the membership perks so far. And also a few days ago, Anthony Arias became a member as well. So huge thanks for your support, Anthony. I really appreciate you signing up also on your own. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoys those membership perks. And for anyone else that would like to join and get those membership perks, including that party answering in the live stream and also all the coming exclusives here in 2024, I already just put out a shelf tour video that you can get as a member. I just posted that yesterday, as well as a bunch of other exclusive posts and things I'll be posting here this year as well. I'm going to try and do more stuff on the member side as well. So stay tuned for that and be sure to join so you make sure you don't miss out and you can get all that stuff as well. But anyway, for anyone else that would like to join, become a member, there's always join buttons here on the video page, on the channel page, and also a link in the description. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe to keep these videos coming. Let me know your thoughts and all this stuff in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.